Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? I hope everybody is doing well. Let's see. Thank you all for being here. Hope you've had a good Tuesday. Let's see. We got Doublicious. Hello, sweetie. Hi, Angela. Let's see. There's Brown Eye Girls. Off Grid Grandma. Thank you for being here. Hey, TJ. Hi, Dreamer. How you doing? Let's see. We got Peggy and Chit Chat. We got Laura. Hey, Justin. All righty. Thanks for listening, my friend. Hi, Maria. How are you doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Hi, Pink Warrior. Thank you all for being here. Hi, Charlie. Well, hello, hello. Oh, I look like a hot mess. My hair's still wet. I finally got a shower. Hi, Susan. Thanks for coming in and being with us. Selena, how are you? Hi, Cat B. Y'all, Cat B put out a beautiful, beautiful song for summer. It was beautiful. Cat, would you mind if I posted it on my community page and shared it? That way everybody could find it and hear it. It was great. It was beautiful for her birthday. Our sweet little summer. Oh, good. Okay. I'll share it out for y'all. It was beautiful. But me and my old buddy Ziva over here, we've just been lazy today. It has been overcast here, a little cool. I've had windows open, just been hanging out, doing not much of nothing, and I love it. Very relaxing day. So I hope you've had a great day so far. Hey, Lori, how are you? Yay, thanks for being here. Well, shall we get started? Hey, Monkey Mom, how are you? Hope you're well. All right, guys. Well, we're going to kind of go back to something. My title is How Desperate Are They? And you know, there's a lot being put out there. Hi, Ida. How are you? Oh, oh, brown eyed girls, y'all keep her best friend in your prayers. She's had to have surgery today. Oh, Ida, well, happy birthday and happy anniversary. Hi, Indy. Oh, I'm so glad you found me. And thank you for becoming a member. I saw that. Thank you. Thank you. But we went over when, you know, the PI was talking mad crap about the Nancy Grace interview. And, I read through that. We got to the picture. We looked at the picture closely and went over that. We saw the bedroom window, the lights on. I've been really going over it, really studying it. And there's been some other people doing and talking about it. And last night I was on Brittany J's panel with her trying to explain some stuff, but internet started going in and out. So I'm in the chat and trying to help explain things. So, anyways, we're going to go over that for just a minute because it's all part of how desperate they're becoming. So, I'm going to share with you some pictures here. Okay. First of all, the house directly behind Katie and Chris, where the white shed garage looking thing. Okay. Here is the camera. That's where the camera is at. See the porch? See the hanging plants? That's where that camera is at. And that is why there is such a perfect shot of their backyard. Here is, do you see? Do you understand it now? Does it make sense to you now? Everybody was saying SF was standing up in there and possibly took the picture. But if you look real close, you see the camera little, not quite halfway up the window. So it is down on eye level to get this shot. There's the porch, the wooden porch, hanging baskets, hanging up. Of course, this is a different hanging basket. There's another one that's just out of view. So that helps to explain that part. Now, we see this is the bedroom light. We see these two lights. So we're going to go here. I want y'all to look really, really close. We see the bedroom light. We see that little shed thing. That banner is just along the fence line. The lights are before the bedroom window. Okay? Now, what is this? I have no clue. Then you have two lights here. People are saying that looks like car lights, but they're not car lights, guys. Look at the shadow is casting across here, but whatever this is blocking the light right here. If you look right here, it actually looks like a person. If you look right here, it looks like a possible shadow or another person. And I say another person as in two people there because I see this and then I see this shadow. Can y'all see what I'm talking about? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can understand what I'm saying here. Do you see the two different shadows being cast? You can't see my mouse? Oh, goodness. Okay, look at the end of the garage thing on the right. At the very end, there are two lights. To the right of those two lights, it looks as if there is a person standing behind the two lights. It looks like a little barrel or something that's right there. Then the two lights, and to the right of them, there's a person. If you see right above that person is a tiny shadow. Then there's a space and there's another shadow. If you can see what I'm talking about, I hope so. Okay, now this is what's really important. This is where we're going to get to now. Okay, sorry. This is in the daylight. Do you see the fence? Do you see the fence? There's enough walk space between that fence and that garage shed thing. They were not behind a fence. We do not see behind a fence. If you look really close, there is no fence blocking anything off right there. That fence is on the other side of them. We can even go to this one. So, whoever it is standing there, you see a shadow right above that person's head. And then you see another shadow. Now, do you see the white blocked out banner right across from the two lights to the left of it? If you look at the very end of that banner, does that not look like a person standing facing the other person? Can you see the outline of a person? You see legs, looks like what could be behind, and then the back, and then the head. Are you with me? Because we can look here and we can know there's nothing that tall right there. Everybody's been wondering why there's a banner right there. Maybe because somebody was standing there. But if you look really close, do you see it there? Let's make it a little closer up. And you look at that banner, and right at the end of it, it looks like a person just very close to the same height as the other person. Because you can actually see where it slopes downward a little bit towards the banner. Are y'all with me? Do I make sense? It is so hard to try to explain, but I want y'all to understand what's there. Boo Sheet, you don't get it? Do you see the person standing to the right of those two lights? Do you see what's standing, someone standing on the right side? Okay. Do you see where, but that only goes to the window, about level with the bottom of the window, and there's a shadow casted off on the right. And that is a person. Now there's another shadow that you can see over there. But if you look at the very end of that banner, to the right side of those lights, right there, there's a dark coloring. To me, I see legs, I see a behind, I see the back, and up to the head. Yes, the shadow's right above the lights. Could that shadow be from whoever is standing there behind that banner? Yep. Can you circle it? Okay, let me see if I can do that. Hang on. Let me see. I'll have to do it on my phone and then get it over to the StreamYard here. Let me see what I can do here. Hang tight. I'm doing it, guys. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try to increase the resolution just a little bit. Okay. Let me get it transferred over to StreamYard. Get that done because I want y'all to tell me if you're seeing what I see. Because I keep seeing two shadows casted above the lights. One behind what looks like a person right at the very end of that shop or garage, and then another shadow. Okay, you're going to see two of me. You might see me pop up again. Hang tight. Let's see. Do. There we go. Okay, it'll add on here in just a second, and I will show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Y'all ready? Let me get down here to it. Look in this yellow circle. Okay. You see legs. It looks like it goes out for a behind, then the back, and then the head. Y'all tell me, what do you think? It makes sense? Okay. That's a person standing there behind that banner. And I think that person, let me go back up here. I think that person is the person casting the second shadow. You don't see you don't see a person. Okay. Now, here's another thing. Can you make bigger with the circle? Okay, let me see if I can try to do that. Um, Another thing that we need to go over is that we need to. Okay, let me see here if I can do it. I got to find another picture of it because I've already got it done there. Okay, hang on. I'm going to work on that. But while we're doing that, I want y'all to see that these lights that we're looking at. Oh, I hate computers. These lights are before the bedroom light. They are before the house, the brick on the house. We know now with this picture, there is a fence with just enough room for people to walk. Now, here is a picture from the front of the house. Hang on, let it load. Here's a picture from the front of the house. There's the white little shop garage thing. Okay. Now, let me find the next one. We know this is the back of the house, the bedroom window we've been looking at. And if you look close, on the corner of the house is the fence that goes straight across. Okay? Y'all with me? I hope everybody's with me. And I'm going to show you the next one, which will show give it a minute to load. The driveway stops at the corner of the house, just before the corner. because you have a little patch of grass, a little walkway to the gates. So those lights are up close to that white building. That's where they're at. They're not here by the driveway. Unless somebody drove to the left side of that fence and faced their lights, I don't even think it would be wide enough for a car to get through there. Are y'all with me? I hope y'all are with me. Two at one side. TJ, I think so. One's behind the banner. I think there are three people. Now, to help you better understand, let's look at this one. This is the house on the left that has the camera. That circle is the Proudfoot home. You can see the fence. The fence comes out pretty far. Those lights are right behind the white shop. The two lights are right there. Let's see, that one, and I think that's it. So does this make sense to you guys, what I'm trying to say when I say it will, those two lights would not be from a car. A car light in the driveway would be through those fence posts. I don't think they would be perfect circles that look side by side, not directly separated, coming straight across the driveway. Does that make sense to you? Yes, TJ. Yes, between 4 and 5 feet. And that's where these people that we see are standing in the common area. They are not in the driveway. Now, we go back right here. This house is directly behind Katie and Chris's house. Okay? This is the house on Kellen Street on the left. Katie and Chris are behind it on their street. The house to the left is owned by a police officer. Actually, if you go back and listen to the audio dispatch, you will hear them talking about a officer that lives on Kellen that was previously at that moment out searching. This is his house. So, the lights, the only thing that bothers me is the setting of the lights. Because if you look at these two lights, they are offset. Now, could it be a four-wheeler? It very well could be. Could it be a car? I'm not sure if a car would fit well through there. But it's possible. But I just want everybody to understand where this area is at. It's not next to the driveway. It's not right there at the driveway. Now, let me throw in a little something extra. Could it be a golf cart? An electric golf cart that won't make noise? I didn't think about that until I was thinking about going to get on the golf cart. And I was like, oh my goodness. So, folks, this is 4 minutes. If the timestamp is correct, this is 4 minutes before the 310 flashlight video. Well, Fred Dorfman, we're not putting the lights to bed. Not doing it. Right on a mower? Could be. Could be. Or could it be actual flashlights and the two people standing behind that garage is holding the flashlights? We don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm wanting everybody to see the position of those two lights where the fence is. They're not coming from the driveway. I don't believe. Now, guys, if you stop and think about it, we talked about this. SF put that out there. Betty talked about it. Other creators have talked about it right after it got put out there. Now, they're trying to debunk it. They're telling all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy because, in my personal opinion, I think SF got a little cocky. He threw that picture out there just to prove there was nobody back there, but he didn't realize what was at the end of that garage. Could it be all faked? Could it be something where it's been photoshopped and all that stuff? Yeah, anything can be done like that. But if it's not, if it really came from that camera, which it actually looks like it did, the angle is straight on, perfect. It very well could have caught something that they didn't realize it caught. SF had it. You don't think it was that day, Mohawk Mom? But there was no clouds the day he went missing. And this was early morning, and the next day was starting to get cloudy. So at 3 a.m., it might have gotten cloudy. And there were a few clouds, but it does look to be like it was almost a full moon there. Brianna's World, I think that's what I feel if this picture is correct. If it's not, he put something out that was false. He put something out that would be something we would look into. And for him to do that on purpose shows you what kind of person he is. 100%. Because we can't go out there and search, or we would. I'm 17 hours away. So for me to go there to search is a long way to go. This is what I can do. Yeah, what's hiding behind the blur? I don't know if it was done just because to make us think there was something there and there really wasn't something there. And if he covered up just one person, if one person is standing there at the end of that, he'd have to do the whole fence so it wouldn't be so obvious. I don't know. I'm just showing you things that I see, things that I found. And I want to make sure you understand the placement of everything that I was seeing. Now, you make your own judgments, y'all decide. You take what I'm putting out here and make your own, thoughts and judgment on it. Because I can't say that's all 100%. I can't. I don't know for sure 100% the camera came, or the picture came from that camera. The angle is right. If it wasn't from that camera, then somebody stood there and took a picture for sure, because it is eye level. But I don't know. I just don't know. Yay, brown eyes girl made it home. Good deal. So, if you remember when the CPS reports came out, when Seth got his lawyer and he got a copy and he said he can't say what's in there, but he could say there were 5 reports. And not all of them were on Chris. One would be against someone who was allowing certain things to happen in the home. The only other person in the home would be Katie. So that came out. We talked about it. It's a little too close. Everything just, let's throw this email out here. So they get their friends on the other side of the street over there to go put out an email that Seth sent to them. It was an email. They did not explain the email because the email itself being put out would make Seth look bad, as if he alone was looking for a home to put Sebastian in. They did not explain the fact that they had decided they were putting him in a home. Seth did not want his son to go to the home that they chose. And we all know it was because that home had 6 kids that died while in that home. I don't blame Seth. I would have looked elsewhere. He reached out for help and had someone into some places. This was a forward of what she sent him. But they didn't explain that because they wanted Seth to look bad. Okay? Distraction away from the fact that there was 5 CPS reports. Let's throw shade on Seth. Seth goes on Nancy Grace. Justin puts out what we're seeing and what we're finding. Let's throw shade on all of them. Boom, here you go. Here's proof no one was in the backyard common area, the back common area space at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, we found things. If that was a for real picture, then there was 2, possibly 3 people in that area. And there are lights 4 minutes before the flashlight video is caught. So now they're so desperate, guys. They have been desperate enough to cause distraction. They've put out Seth's whole work records. They put out all of his stuff with his former employer. They've put out a copy of his driver's license and a social security card. They're so desperate for anything. They're pulling up stuff that has nothing to do with finding Sebastian. Nothing to do with what happened that night. Let me show you the newest. Here we have on X, Beautiful Sunflower, post a copy of the parental agreements and arrangements between Seth and Katie. Here's page 1. Here's page 2. Here's page 3. Here's page 4. And look, here's their signatures. Why on earth would anyone need to know what their personal agreement was made and documented when they got a divorce? Now, we know for a fact Seth did not put those papers out. He did not give his parental agreement on how things were going to go. He didn't give those documents out to anybody. So that leaves one person. That leaves Katie. Because these, if you look at the first page here, that's the original document. That is an original document. They're desperate, folks. They're getting so nervous and so desperate. They're starting to hand out anything and everything they can. And now they're saying Seth has not followed the papers. He should be in jail. You know, if you have two parents that work together and it's your weekend, but yet you have something that you would like to go and do, or you need to go to work or whatever it is, and you ask the other parent, hey, can we swap weekends, or can you keep him this weekend and I'll get him the next 2 weekends, or however we can work it out, and the other parent says yes. Folks, you can't go back and put somebody in jail because of that. There was a good working relationship when it came to Sebastian between all 3 parents. That lasted until the day Sebastian went missing. They worked together to make decisions. Katie herself, Chris himself have said Seth was a great parent. He was a good father. If there was anything Sebastian had going on, Seth would be in the front row. Those were Katie's words. And for her to allow someone to put these papers out is absolutely disgusting. But they're put out to actually hurt Seth. That's what they're put out for, to make it look like Seth should be in jail. It's ridiculous, the measures that they're going to go to. It's ridiculous at the way they want to portray Chris and Katie. When, if this picture is 100% legit, taken from that camera at the back of their house, facing their house, then there was someone awake at 3:06 a.m. the night Sebastian went missing, and 4 minutes before the so-called flashlight video, which I believe we should start calling it the headlamp video, was put out. are recorded. I don't know what it's going to take to get all this to stop, but it's sad. It's really, really sad when you have a mother that has a copy of the papers and is going to give them to someone. Or was that her husband that had a copy of the papers and gave them out? Seth wasn't giving those out, and he sure wouldn't give them to someone who supports the mother of his child, who pleads the fifth and doesn't want to talk to anyone anymore. It's obvious. But yet, we're the ones that are stupid. Hang on, let me pull this down. It's getting a little bright on me here. But to have all these documents that they keep pulling up, all these things just to make Seth look bad, because he was not a bad father. He didn't hurt Sebastian. He never had a CPS case against him when it was Sebastian. Katie tried to file all these things, but the judge said, no, not going to work, and threw them all out. That was one thing, one time. When you have 5 in one house from November of one year to January of the next year, that's 4 too many, 5 too many. That's way too many. And they can't stand the fact that we, Sebastian's army, who they like to make fun of, the green team, whatever they want to call us, they can't stand the fact that we got pictures, that we have recordings, we have videos that back it up. Katie and Chris's own words, their own actions, they've said a lot. And everything they've said, everything they've done, it's not been in their favor at all. Yes, exactly, Mohawk. When KP tried to get the PO on Seth, it read like CP wrote the paperwork. Yep. Why are you here, Paul? I'm no better than BHB. Well, you know what, Paul? Ask Katie and Chris why they say what they say. Ask Katie and Chris why they can't tell the same story twice, Paul. Ask Katie and Chris why Sebastian is nowhere to be found. Ask them, Paul. Paul, why don't you ask Mr. Chris, where was he the night Sebastian went missing? Because he won't tell nobody, will he, Paul? Why has he not taken a lie detector test? He made a fool of himself on Nancy Grace. It's their actions. It's their words. Yeah, they're acting like 2-year-olds. Oh, goodness. See, it's funny when, oh, he has midget? Prove it. I've taken one too, right? Because I said so. Prove it. Law enforcement has said Katie took one. Law enforcement has said Seth has took one. Law enforcement has never told us Mr. Chris has taken one, and they sure as hell didn't tell him not to. How about that? Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's fun when, you know, you start talking truth and trolls start coming in. You start putting stuff out there that's real, where you got the pictures, you got the videos, all the things to back you up. They don't like that. They're desperate. They're getting antsy. The mother is so desperate to not say the wrong thing anymore, not to make the wrong gestures anymore, that she's going to just shut her mouth and not talk anymore. You can talk to her lawyer. They can't go to vigils. Nah, can't do that. Those are for dead people. No, those are called remembrance. Those are called honoring. A vigil, a prayer vigil is to pray for a person, especially one that's missing. But they can't go there. They can go Harley shopping. And it wasn't when they were shopping before Sebastian went missing, because they wouldn't have had Find Sebastian t-shirts on at the Harley shop before he went missing. Oh, he does tell on himself. Hmm. Just Jen. Hmm. Oh, goodness. Hey, tis me. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. Woo woo. We thank you. You are precious. Thanks for that. I love it. Guys, yeah, and go live in Mississippi for 3 weeks. Yeah, go to Oregon. Go to Myrtle Beach with the girls. Huh, Katie? Go visit the little bars on the beach. Huh, Katie? The bartenders tell off on you, Katie. But can you go to dinner with creators? What? Renee, I don't know what you're talking about, sweetie. I just wish that we could find Sebastian. We'll never know. Yeah, yeah, Midge. Mm-mm. It's all backed up with facts. Chris lied, and that's a problem. The facts are there. People follow up on these things, and y'all don't want to hear the facts. You know, yep. That was the only time she had that shirt on an interview. Hey, Tabitha Star, how are you doing? Seth needs to bring Sebastian home. Well, guess what, honey? Midgey Poo. If Seth could find him, he would. If your friends was to tell him where Sebastian is, Seth would go get him and bring him home. That's a fact. He would love to. Seth has cried more than Katie has, and I ain't seen a tear out of Chris's eye. That's right, Angela. God sees all, he knows all. There's a hell waiting for people that can harm this child. Yes, they would stay in a family home and wait in hope and prayer that the child will return. They sure would. Much love, Tisme. Sorry about all the drama. I hate it. Yeah, yeah, Marina Gal. The bike shop said Chris didn't even ask for any help or to put flyers up there or anything. He's not concerned, is he? Yeah. Same day as the vigil. Tell me that's not sick. At a motorcycle shop, looking at motorcycles, trying them out. And the rest of everybody is praying for the return of her son. Make that make sense. It doesn't. Not unless you're one hard ass, cold hearted bitch. That's the only thing that can make sense. Yes, you're right, TJ. Chris did say, well, that was a different day. That was before Sebastian went missing. No, sir. You didn't have a missing Sebastian t shirt prior to him going missing. Did you? And I understand that's what people believe. I get that. I really do. They believe Katie and Chris are the victims. They believe we are attacking a grieving mother. I'll be the first to say, if it comes to the end, everything's said and done, Sebastian is found, the people are put to justice, and Katie had nothing to do with it. I would be the first person to beg Katie to forgive me because I would be wrong. But I had just lost my child. It's all still new and it's still raw. And there is no way that if there was a chance, any hope that my son could come back home, I would be doing anything and everything. There's no way I would be going out of town. There's no way I would be moving out of my house. There's no way in hell I would not be searching every single day. It was very sweet of Katie to leave a pair of shoes and a blanket on the front porch when her and her husband left and was gone for weeks at a time. That was very sweet. It doesn't add up. And I'm not saying there's a handbook on how you're supposed to be. Everybody handles it differently. Yes, I understand that. But when you see his father searching, arranging for searches to happen, talking to people, listening to what they tell him about what they found and figured out and saw and where they've been, and he keeps all the records of all the things. And his work has said he was there all night long. He never left to go take a 2-hour nap in his car. He doesn't socialize with inmates to get them to go take his son. That's all BS being put out by Chris and Katie, by their friends, by the other side of the street. And if you notice, The ones that Chris and Katie lean on, talk to, go on panels with, are the ones that are making up stories. It's ridiculous. There's a lawsuit against Seth. Seth never even talked to the woman. The woman is psychotic. She's bipolar. And she's paid by Mrs. Bowersox. Make that make sense. Witnesses, witnesses, and more witnesses for Seth. Yep, that's it. I'm too honest. At the end of the day, it will be what the law can prove. Oh, see, the other side of the street saying it was Katie and she screamed and she cried. But it was the neighbors that put out shoes and blankets. See? Not Katie. Oh, it is so very sad that we're even have to do this. It is so very sad that your face gets put up on somebody's thumbnail and they talk about your whole entire life and what your opinion is and how stupid you are. I'm not calling anyone for their opinion stupid. It is what it is. You believe what you're going to believe. I'm never going to change their minds. But I have facts to back up what's said and what was done. We have the facts. Oh, Blue Eyes, you're good. You're good. Thank you all for coming in. I appreciate y'all being here so much. But yeah, the other side can have their opinions. They can say what they want and they can feel how they want, and that's fine. But when I have something that I can put out there to prove this is a fact, this is what they said, this is what they were wearing, this is what they did. These are their words. They will still argue with us. It's just how it's going to be. They'll argue with us and tell us we're lying when we actually have the clip in the mother and the stepfather's words. That's not what they meant. I'm like, are you serious? That's what they said. Hey, sped teacher, how you doing? Hi, Bridget. Hello, everybody. And Wendy and Mama B. Mama B. Oh, good. Well, welcome, Mama B. We're glad to have you here. You come on in and enjoy yourself. We have a great chat. We have great people here. And, you can have opinions. I'm not going to attack you, but when you come in here and calling everybody liars and stuff, no. We're not lying. We're not making anything up. All we have to go by is what the mother has told us. All we have to go by is what the words of the stepfather. He is so engrossed in her story, it's almost like he was there. Go figure. Now, the father can't say the story like the stepfather can because the mother has quit talking to him. She won't talk to him. He cannot talk to the mother of his child. And if that's not weird, I don't know what is. And to me, that was probably the very first out of everything I've heard. That was my first red flag. And I say that because that's the father of your son. You don't like him. You don't want to be married to him, whatever. But there's been communication up to the day your child goes missing. That's the day you rely on each other more. That's the day that you put your heads together and say, well, who did he know in your area? We need to double check them. This is what my thoughts are here. What do you think about it? Has he mentioned anything different? That's what you should be doing, not quick communication. Because, see, when you quit communicating, it basically says, hey, red flag, look at me. I don't want to talk anymore. Yeah. It's crazy, guys. It's insane crazy. The number 2 red flag for me, I woke up at 6 o'clock. I went straight into his room to get him up, and he wasn't there. So I went to the kitchen, the same kitchen that she just passed to get to his room. She went back in there to see if he was there. He wasn't there. She looked everywhere, all over the place. And she was in her car driving away from the neighborhood at 6:03 in the morning. Fully dressed, mind you. She had her clothes on. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is the time you gave yourself to look and search for your child. Not counting going to the bathroom when you first wake up, not counting brushing your teeth, not counting putting your clothes on. When did all that happen? That was the biggest red flag in this whole entire case for me. That said, she woke up, she went to the bathroom, she brushed her teeth, and she got in her car and hauled ass. She didn't drive the neighborhood and all the streets up and down in their neighborhood to see if Sebastian was anywhere around there. She went out of the neighborhood. She left the neighborhood. And they said she was going fast. Yeah. It's sad. She didn't even spend time looking for her child. Why? Because in my opinion, she already knew where he was. She knew he wasn't in his room. She didn't have to spend any time walking through the house, looking in cabinets, looking under beds, looking behind the doors, going outside, looking all around the yard, looking around the front, the back, the sides. She didn't have to do that. I don't even know that she had to get dressed, because I'm starting to think, honestly, she never undressed. She never slept. And that's my opinion. And when you hear the word Occam's razor, this is so much what we see is what it is. What we are seeing, the things we're putting together, is what it is. We see flashlights, headlights, headlamps, whatever you want to call it, cell phones, whatever it is you want to say it is. There's 2 light sources walking across the common area where people are standing 4 minutes earlier, according to the picture their PI put out. Did he do it on purpose? Did he do it without thinking? We don't know. But 4 minutes after that picture was snapped, and there's clearly people standing there. There's lights walking through that common area where they were actually standing at. They weren't in the driveway. They weren't on the corner of their house at the front. They were at the back, outside of the fence, in the common area where the flashlights actually come from. And folks, you see the car lights. You see them come on. It's a car. Headlights and taillights. That's exactly what happens every time we start our cars. That happens. It's automatic. Sped teacher, I have a fear that that could be very possible. Yep, got into her car, got into the garage, get in the car, open the garage door, back out, drive down the driveway, and out of the subdivision. What if he did just sneak out? If what they put out there and presented to the whole world is true, wouldn't you think she would look around the neighborhood first? Wouldn't you think she would look at different places in their own neighborhood before you start taking off outside of the whole subdivision? Wouldn't you go check some of the houses that they've just built? You know, probably pretty easy to get in one of those and just sit outside of the elements for the night or whatever. It would be easy, but let's not check there. I'm telling you guys, Occam's razor, what we see is what it is. She left. She spent 3 minutes to do all the things. I'm telling you, she didn't go in his room because she knew he wasn't there. It was all a timeline that they set in motion, because when you call the father and leave a message, call 911. That's a text, because let me rephrase that. When you text the father, who's actually at work in a lockdown prison facility, that says something. Wouldn't you want to see if maybe Seth did come pick him up? But they didn't call and ask because they knew. And from there, a minute and a half later, 2 minutes later, you're going to call your ex-wife? You don't call his own father to check with him to see if he had heard from the boy. But you're going to call your ex-wife to let her know Sebastian is missing. She says, oh my gosh, we have court in just 2 weeks. And he yells back, there will be no court. That was his whole purpose. That was his whole purpose, or he would not have called her till later. But to call her before calling police, before he called law enforcement, because when you call, the dispatch call starts going out, because there's a whole different system to it. That person you're talking to is not the one putting out the dispatch. They're putting it into the system. A dispatch call is being made while they're on the phone with you. You see, but he didn't think anybody would catch on to that fact. He didn't call until just minutes before the dispatch call. But it was more important to call his ex-wife to let her know They're not going to go to court because Sebastian's missing. That was 2 weeks away. What if you would have found him? What if you would have been able to find him? You could have went to court, Mr. Chris, right? But that was not part of your plan, was it? And that's the part that pisses me off, is them saying things, doing things, and when we question them, they try to turn around with their friends and try to make us look stupid. It's called common sense. And common sense says foul play all over the place. Lies. We've proven the fact that they can't tell the same story more than once. Each time something gets added. We went from he went to bed, and when I woke him up the next morning, he wasn't there, to he went to bed, I heard some noise, sounded like a thud. I said, "Are you okay in there?" "Yes, Mama. Go to bed." That's a whole lot different than he went to bed and I went and woke him up the next morning. That's a whole different story. But they were adapting as they went along to make people understand this is what really happened. Because they got questioned so hard. It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. And if you listen to the stepfather, the funniest part about it all is, he just disappeared. Poof, gone, vanished. He turned into a ninja. There's nothing funny about a missing child. It's sick and it's disgusting to have a parent who wants to use those phrases when talking about a missing child that lives in your home. Yesterday, we were talking about the CPS cases and what type of things were happening in that home. And just to think about what Sebastian had to endure, the fact that his step-grandmother took all of her grandkids, minus Sebastian, to Disney. It's sad. It is obvious that Mr. Chris and his family did not care for Sebastian. They just put up with him. It's sad because Katie allowed it. His mother allowed that around him. His mother allowed that home life to happen. And the saddest part is Sebastian deserved a mother who would protect him at all cost. But he didn't get it. Because we know one case out of the 5 was against Katie for allowing the actions and behaviors that are happening inside the home towards Sebastian, allowing that to continue. It's so very sad. The mother and the stepfather put out a description of this young man. I don't know about y'all, but I seriously thought he acted as if he was a young kid. A very young kid. I'm telling you, I could in my head picture Sebastian acting like he had no manners, acting like he did not know how to handle himself in public, acting as if he shouldn't have even been in high school. It wasn't making sense to me why they would go ahead and let him go on into high school when his mind was about 10 years old. And to see the Texas Roadhouse video made me even sicker to my stomach, to realize they've portrayed him as this little kid. They have portrayed their thoughts and their opinions and their things that they said about Sebastian as if he's this little tiny boy and his mind is nowhere close to being 15. And what I saw was a young man, almost as tall as his mother, not these little boy pictures we were seeing, but a young man who waited before he sat down for the waitress to move and walk away. He wasn't rude and walked around her and tried to move and squeeze into a space. He was respectful. He put his napkin on his lap. Katie said something. He leaned over, but he didn't get in her bubble. He didn't get all up in her face. Never seen that. And it made me want to slap his mother and his stepdad. And I'm serious, guys. They should be ashamed for the way they portrayed him. When asked if you could describe something about Sebastian so that people, if they think they see him, it possibly might be him, something to help them recognize him. He likes shiny things. He likes pennies, and he likes paper clips. You know, shiny things. That was the most pathetic description a mother could give for someone to recognize her son. He's almost as tall as I am, would have been appropriate. He walks on his toes at times. That would have been appropriate. He doesn't like to brush his hair. It's kind of scraggly. Okay, that would help. He always has his glasses on. That would help. He's very thin. Okay, that would help. Those are the things that would help. Him liking shiny things. Yes, you can't see me. His smile, a smile that would light up the room. That would help. But we got none of that. None of it. It's sad. It's horrible. It's disgusting. But yet we're the bad people. We're the horrible people. We're the one that puts out lies against the mother and stepfather. Somebody please make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, he ran like an anime character. I don't know, guys. It's just horrible. Yeah, he likes to dip in between walls. Yeah, make that one make sense. Brown Eyed Girls, let me tell you, we're having a big party somewhere on one channel or all. There's going to be some celebrating going on for sure. Exactly, Gemini 2. His teachers gave better descriptions of the young man than his own mother could. but she didn't want to give a description. She did not want him found. She knew whatever, wherever he's at, he wasn't going to be found. Why? Are they putting out pictures of him when he's young? Why not the picture she took at the table? The newest, updated picture ever is hours before he went missing. We didn't get that. Those were for Mr. Chris to see that he was eating. Somebody make that make sense too. Oh, I tell you. Yes. Mohawk Mom, why the signs with the Photoshop picture of Sebastian? Lord. Yeah. Why? Why? And I want to know if someone out there can tell me, did Sebastian really enjoy the crane toy that they had on the table during the interview with Olivia? Because I have a feeling if it had anything to do with Mr. Chris, Sebastian did not play with it. He was riding a normal bus in a normal classroom. He was in an inclusive school. So that tells me Sebastian understands his assignment. Yes, sped teacher. Yes. Yep. I don't know what the crane toy was, just a prop. Yeah, it was just a prop. But they're putting it out there as if they're representing it to as everybody as Sebastian's toy. Katie left her marriage to protect her son. Y'all have projected your own problems. Honey, I'll tell you one thing. My problems ain't anywhere close to that crap that woman is putting out. The cop found a Lego. Mm-hmm. Yep. Look here. Let me get back over here. We're just going to skip that stupid one. Okay. Look here. Does anybody remember the cop found a Lego ATM that dispenses money in his closet with $20 in it? He made it out of Legos. That's how intelligent that young man was, guys. He was not a person that was never going to grow up mind-wise. But that's how they made him. They put him in pull-ups, for God's sakes. Instead of teaching him to come to you and tell you why he's having those kind of issues. Come to me and talk to me. Let's talk this out because this is not good for you. This is not right. Let's work through this. Let's just go. It was a punishment. Put him in pull-ups and send him to school. It's just, no. KP is not showing the signs of a missing mother, of a mother with a missing child. Yes. Yes. He was not as slow as Katie and Chris betrayed him at all. He walked right to the bathroom alone in the Texas Roadhouse. I'm telling you, everything they said about this child. I would have put a bubble around him. I would have protected him. He'd have never left my sight. I would have ordered his food. I'd have made sure I cut up his chicken. You know, all the things a mother does when their child's young. This young man needed none of that. He just needed his mother and his stepfather to love him, and he didn't get it at all. It is so sad. And that's the thing. Here we go, Bridget. She says, Lauren, Sebastian is the victim here. A mother would fight up to the very last second for her missing child. And that's the whole point, guys. That's it. Sebastian is the victim. Poor, pitiful me, little Katie is not the victim. Mr. Chris, badass, is not the victim. His father is becoming a victim because of Katie and Chris and their friends. He's becoming a victim because he's being harassed and attacked, and the mother and the stepfather are giving out information because that's how desperate they are to put out the parental arrangements from their divorce. When the custody was all in progress and finalized, Katie had a copy and Seth had a copy. Seth didn't put it out, so that leaves Katie, right? And we all know they've already put out papers and emails and stuff before. And it's out of control, stupid. It's childish, and I'm beginning to think they, the mother and the stepfather, are the ones that are about 10 years old in mind. I'm beginning to think they like shiny things. Because it's not about them. It's about finding out what happened to Sebastian, where he possibly could have gone. His mother told us he left the house. There's no footage. There's no video. There's nothing. No dog scent. Nothing showing Sebastian outside that house. Nothing. The only time possible would be when he took out the trash, but he went back inside their home. He couldn't have disappeared. His body would not have vanished while he was in his room. It does not happen that way. They like shiny things. That's what I'm starting to think. It's them that like shiny things. There wasn't even, yeah, there you go. You can't see me. There was hardly any evidence that there was even a child in that house. Yes. Yep, Zoot's in. You're right. They're not well evolved. Oh, thank you, Retha Bell. I get so worked up and I get so aggravated because, like I said, it goes back to that Occam's razor. What we see, what we hear, what's right in front of us is the answer. It's not hard when you listen to their stories. It's not hard when you see two flashlights moving from the back of their house at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not hard when you see the neighbor's video capturing the back of their home 4 minutes before the flashlight video, and there's two people that you can recognize. Two people, possibly three. It's not hard. Not hard at all. And if you look really, really close into it and want to get very, very detailed about it, the person standing next to the shed has a light colored shirt on. The person at the car at 3 o'clock in the morning, the outline, the shirt looks white, light colored. It's obvious. It's right in front of us, folks. It does typically stop around 8. You're right. You're right, misinformation. But there are things that can happen that will cause a teenage boy, a young kid, to digress backwards. Just, there's signs. The signs are there. Chris beat him with the belt. Whack! We heard it. His words. Whack! And it warranted a CPS case. That's what happened. And why? Folks, we would never know if it wasn't for Mr. Chris telling us. And his words are, Sebastian, where's your belt? In my room. Go get it. Whack. He wasn't wearing a belt. He didn't lie to you. He told you the truth. It's in my room. I didn't put it on. That's the truth. He told the truth. And he got a whack with the belt. Doesn't take much, does it, Mr. Chris? It's just, it's horrible that we have to sit here and deal with the swampy stuff, all because a mother and a stepfather are getting a little desperate. Folks, that's all there is to it. And it's not as hard as what we're making it out to be. It's not as hard as what they're making it out to be. It's right in front of us. Sebastian had to leave that home somehow for him not to be there. And there was one person in that home with him. There was no video of anything until Katie's car took off at 6:03 in the morning. Nothing else was captured on video except for the flashlights at 3:10 and the trash truck and the Uber driver. All are accounted for. He didn't just disappear. If he was not seen on video, if he was not picked up from his scent by a tracking dog that is trained for that, he didn't do it on his own. He was taken out of that house. It's simple. It's obvious. And all of the drama, all of the BS, all of the let's put out Katie and Seth's parental agreement from all those years ago is because they're getting desperate. They're getting desperate. We're hitting a little too close to the truth, and the trolls come out. It is what it is. Bring on the trolls, because I like the truth. They don't want to. They don't want to hear the truth. And I'll be honest. If we are completely 100% wrong and it turns out to be Seth, I will feel stupid. I will feel like an idiot. But I'm also going to come on here and tell you, I'm sorry. I was wrong. We're not going to hear that. We're not going to hear that if it's the other way. We're not going to hear that from them if it's Katie and Chris. We're not going to hear that. They were going to be doing it on purpose. You wait and see. You wait and see. Because that's the kind of people we're dealing with. He did. Yes. If you're looking for something to watch, Peter Hyatt did a great program on the Proudfoots. Amazing. He's a very intelligent man. Yeah, it's going to be a plan, chit chat. That was part of their plan all along. They were playing them. No, you can play somebody, you can be their friend, but when you start attacking other people, that's because you believe the bull that's being told to you. What do we got here? Mohawk says, what is it? Odd that the tracking dog did not walk down the driveway to where the trash was put the night before. Not a scent. So, I don't know, guys. Oh, yeah. Bridget, I have my opinion. I really do. And if I'm going to put something out there, I want to make sure I put it out there and explain why I feel the way I do. I don't put it out there to convince you of what you're seeing. That's not it. It's not what I'm ever going to do. I don't want to be that person. But like today, when we were going over the house, when we were going over the fence and the garage shed thing from the neighbor behind them, I needed everybody to understand that proximity and where the two lights were at. They weren't in the driveway. They were in the common area. The people that were there were not in the driveway. They were in the common area. That's something I needed everybody to see as to where I'm coming from, because I want it to be as close to the truth as I can possibly get it down to. And I'm not going to put up something and then just say, okay, y'all go figure it out. That's what we're here for. We're here as a group. Let's figure this out. Let's talk about it. Let's get down to the bottom of it. What the heck is happening here? What is going on? And guys, I've about come to the conclusion. It is what we see. It is what we hear. It is what we know. It's almost too obvious what's happening here. Nowhere does a person disappear. They either make a plan and it happens, and they've done a very, very good job. But I'm going to guarantee you one thing. They're going to put their shoes on before they leave. Especially when it's hardly any clouds in the sky. None, most of it. And that makes it even colder. You're going to walk out with some shoes on. You're going to take a phone in case you need to call somebody to come pick you up or see if they're home so you can go stay with them. You would pack a bag. But none of those things were done. And I believe the shoes was an oversight. I believe it was an oversight. Rose, I think so. I do. I feel, and guys, like I said, a grieving parent. Everybody has their process of grieving. Everybody has their way of dealing with things. But when it comes to your child, that's a whole different set. That's a whole space that people just don't get. I'm telling you. I had two friends prior to my son. I couldn't understand their grief. They were both grieving in a different way. But you could tell that they would do anything to have their child back, but they couldn't. So if there was any hope whatsoever. Me looking at back at it now, if there was any hope that their child could come back, they would not act like Katie at all, at all, at all. Seth is grieving. Seth is a man, and he doesn't hide the tears he has because that's his love for his child. Seth doesn't care what anybody says. Pascal asked him about what was what was your first thought? How did you feel when you heard that he used a belt on your son? And Seth's words were, it doesn't matter what I thought. It's the fact that I know he put a belt to my son. It doesn't matter about Seth. It's about Sebastian, 100% about Sebastian. What happened? Who did this? Because Sebastian didn't do this on his own, guys. And we know Seth did not do it. Yes, Zoot. Oh, Zoot. That just broke my heart when he said that. I just was like, that's what it should be. It's not about me. It's about the fact that this happened to my child. It's not about what I felt. It's about what happened to Sebastian. And that's what we're here for, guys. And they can do and say all they want to. They can smash and attack and all the things. I don't care. I'm not going to play into it. They're desperate. They are so desperate. I didn't sit here today and read to you Seth and Katie's parental plans approved by the court. That was none of our business. I flipped through them to show you the pages. See, here it is. What it says has nothing to do with Sebastian going missing. But that's what they put out. That is how they play it. Put it out there for anybody to have it to read it if you want it. It's got nothing to do with finding Sebastian. Why the heck are you even talking about it? Because you don't care about Sebastian. You want the views, you want to make money, and you don't care. That's how they play the game. So, too much corporal punishment. You're right, Carly, because that's the way he treated Sebastian. I'm not moving in till you get rid of your cats or get rid of his cats. That was a straight up bitch move. But hey, he takes care of the neighbor's cat and looks out for it, right? I don't like the way you cleaned your room, so put all your toys in the trash because you're throwing them away. He's not in the military. He doesn't have to live his life like that. He shouldn't be punished that way. Hey, Bubble Beth, how are you? Hi, Kale and Cricket. Yeah, total BS. That's it. Hey, Dancing Queen. Hi, Diana. Guys, we're going to talk more about it. We're going to go over things. But the words they've said, they can't take them back. They can't change their mind now. They're in too deep, so they quit talking. You can't go back and change what you said. You can try to explain away what you said, or you can apologize for what you said. We've never heard none of that. None of that. All we've heard is adding more to the story each time they talked. We've heard laughter from them. Oh, yes, Diana. You know, they've laughed. They've said all kinds of stuff. They've used words like the best thing about his disappearance. He always wanted to be a ninja. Poof, he's gone. That's how they put it out there, guys. Their words, not mine. A parent that's grieving says, doesn't matter what I think. It's about what happened to Sebastian. That's a parent that's grieving, not a parent trying to cover up things and make light about it. Oh, he's gone. Mm-mm. It's not cool. It's not right. I hope that, guys, that we can all stay together and stay strong and not let the trolls bother us. I hope we can keep looking into things and I can keep showing you things that I find and explaining to you how I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I hope that I can keep telling you this is how desperate they are. This is what they're stooping to. All because they don't want us to talk about this anymore. I hope I can always do that. And you can look at it, inform your opinions, whether it agrees with me or not. But for trolls to come in and to be disrespectful and ugly, we're not going to play the game. It's what my mods are here for. They know to get rid of them. Not going to apologize to them. Not going to correct. It was very obvious. We were getting a little too close. We were starting to get them a little too anxious. And they don't want it to be found out. Out comes razors, guys. What is right before us is what it is. So I'm going to let you all get off of here. I will see you about the same time tomorrow. We'll talk some more. Yeah, she wants to be number 6. Maybe her and fiance both. Never know. there are those kind of people out there. Oh, I don't know. That was being ugly. Yeah. I have some great friends in here. Yes. Yep. Angela, we've talked about that one too. I love everybody that's here. I love the fact that y'all sit and y'all listen and you participate, and those that are not in chat but listening, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And if you're not a person that wants to chat or whatever, it's all good. We just appreciate you. So, with that, I'm going to let everybody go and get out of here. Just remember, this is about Sebastian. This is about finding him. This is all about Sebastian and what happened. We're not the detectives. We're not going to be the one to judge them. We're just going to call out what we see. And if we happen to call them out, then it's obvious. And with that, love and hugs, everybody. See y'all tomorrow.